Good day, good noon, or good evening, or whichever day you are watching and listening this on. We're trying to discuss Chapter 4, Managing the Cost of Every Beverages. Serving alcohol beverages. There are three types of operations that serve alcoholic beverages. These can be grouped as first, beverage only, second, beverage and food, third, beverage and entertainment or activity. Beverage only. Beverage only operation has been in existence in the United States for a little more than 100 years. Beverage only bars are often neighborhood gathering places. Beverage only operations can include first, neighborhood bars, second, taverns, third, hotel bars, 4, airport bars, 5, breweries, 6, wineries. Neighborhood bars, also known as a dive bar, is an informal bar or pub where local residents gather to drink and socialize. Taverns is an establishment for the sale of beer and other drinks to be consumed on the premises, sometimes also serving food, a bar or a pub. Hotel bar is a place where you can buy and drink alcohol drinks. Airport bars will offer a double version of your spirit or cocktail, or a beer that close to twice as large as their standard beer. Breweries. A brewery is a place where beer is made commercially. Wineries is an establishment where wine is made. Beverage and food. Beverage and food operations are the predominant type of beverage operation in the United States in a major industry in the world today. Beverage and food operation can include quick service restaurants, full service restaurants, self-service and cafeterias, airport bars, sports complexes such as areas and stadiums, grocery or convenience store carryout, brew pubs, hotel room service, banquet halls, and last, country clubs. Beverage and entertainment activity. Beverage and entertainment or activity operation exists because many people want to do something while they consume their favorite alcohol beverage. Beverage and entertainment or activity operation can include comedy clubs, taverns, entertainment clubs, full-service restaurants, sports complexes, brew pubs, nightclubs, country clubs, dance or music clubs, bowling alleys. So, beverage and entertainment or activity is a leisure for people to have a feeling of happy satisfaction and enjoyments, used or attended for entertainment.
Alcoholic beverages are those products that are meant for consumption as a beverage and that contain a significant of ethyl alcohol. These products are generally classified as 1. Beer. So a beer, a fermented beverage made from grain and flavored with hops. So the alcoholic beverage produced by extracting few materials with water, boiling, usually with hops, and fermenting beer produced from bottom fermenting yeast, and the term ale is now used for top fermented British types of beer. Second, wine. Wine, a fermented beverage made from grapes, fruits, or berries. So, wine, the alcoholic, usually fermented juice of plant product such as a fruit, used as a beverage, like blackberry wine. So, the alcoholic fermented juice of fresh grapes used as a beverage. So third is spirits. As spirits are fermented beverages that are distilled to increase the alcohol content of the product. So spirits are differentiated in two ways. They are distilled and they have higher average BVs from around 20% to as high as 80 or 90%. ABVs, most spirits fall somewhere much closer to the middle. Many states have now enacted third-party liability. legislation, which under certain conditions holds your business and in some cases, you personally responsible for the action of your guests who consume excessive amounts of alcoholic beverages. This series of legislative acts, commonly called dram shop laws, shifts with liability for acts committed by an individual under influence of alcohol from that individual to the server or operation that supplied the intoxicating beverage. Dram shop is derived from the word dram, which refers to a small drink and shop where such a drink was sold. Because of these laws, managers are becoming increasingly concerned about alcohol awareness and the importance of safely serving their guests. In addition, as states continue to move to lower the allowable blood alcohol content (BEC) of motor vehicle drivers, good managers simply want to help guests obey the law. This means training employees to serve alcoholic beverages properly and to notice telltale signs of possible guest intoxications. Through passage of dram shop and related laws, it is very clear that society holds the seller of alcoholic beverages to a very high standard. In all states, the sale of these products is regulated either by the licensing of establishments that are allowed to sell alcoholic beverages or by direct control and sale of the products by the states. Although the special requirements involved in serving alcoholic beverages are many, including licensing, age restrictions, promotional limitations, drinking and driving issues, and social responsibility, to come just a few. The control of beverage cost is similar, in many respects, to the control of food-related cost. This chapter details the unique aspects of sales forecasting, purchasing, receiving, and storage of beverage products. In some areas, beverage control is not different from that of non-alcoholic food products reviewed in the last chapter. In others, the differences are pronounced. Forecasting beverage sales. To calculate the monthly forecast, take the prior month's total food and beverage sales data and derive by that month's average percentage of total annual sales, and then monthly these products by the upcoming month's average percentage of total annual sales.
Figure 4.1, Larry's Bar Beer Sales, Beverages. So, as you can see, it has a products of beer, number of sold, and percentage sold. So there is no formula in the book, so I've made my own formula to get the percentage sold. But before we get the percentage sold, first, we need to total all of the numbers sold. So 45 plus 18 plus 61 plus 68 plus 115 plus 93 is equal to 400 total of numbers sold. Then if you are done totaling all the number of sold, then it is time to get the percentage sold, so that the formula of getting the percentage sold is number sold divided by total of number sold is equal to percentage sold. For example, in the products of beer, Budweiser bottles, it has 45 number of sold divided by 400 total number of sold. So is equal to 0.1125. Then move 2 decimal places to the right to get the percentage, or multiplied it by 100. So we get the percentage sold of 11.25%. So that is the example of the products of beer, Budweiser, better, so on and so forth.
Forecasting wide sales. So when you say forecast, it refers to calculate or predict some future event or condition, usually as a result of study and analysis of available pertinent data. The forecasting of wine sales is similar to that of beer sales. It must divided into two parts. The forecasting of wine sales is similar to that of beer sales. It must be divided into two parts: forecasting bottled wine sales and forecasting wine by the glass. So, what is forecasting bottled wine sales? When forecasting wine sales by the whole, you treat an individual type of bottled wine exactly as you would treat a menu item. A menu list or wine menu detailing the selections of wine available is presented to the guest, who then makes a choice. Percent selected figures are computed exactly as they would be when analyzing food item sales. You may find, however, that it is possible and quite desirable to offer wines with very small percent selected figures because wine in a bottle are not highly perishable. When we say highly perishable in Tagalog, it is a mabubulok. So, ang wine daw sa bottle kay di ra kayo siya malata or mabubulok. Many operators develop extensive wine lists consisting of a large number of wines, many of which sell only and frequently. Although this selling strategy has its place because some restaurants consider an extensive wine list as an integral part of their marketing strategy, you must remember that excessive product inventory, whether food or beverage, must be avoided. Dollars invested in extravagant inventory are not available for use in other areas of the food service organization. Even though the bottled wine is not highly perishable, all wine products are perishable to some degree. Thus, excessive inventory of some wine types can result in increased product loss through oxidation, deterioration, theft, or both. Forecasting wine by the glass sales. Forecasting the sale of house wines includes those wines served to a guest who does not stipulate a specific brand when ordering, as well as those named wines offered by the glass. Once you have estimated the number of guests who will select wine, the type of wine they will select can be forecasted. The popularity of different wine types changes frequently as a newer styles and varieties gain in popularity, and newer wine-producing regions such as Argentina, Australia, and South Africa to improve the quality and marketing of their locally produced wine. As a result, you must continually monitor the wines your guests prefer to drink now, rather than attempt to sell what they preferred back then.
Figure 4.2 Larry bars wine by the glass sales. So, beverage sales. It has product wine by the glass, number sold, and percentage sold. So to get the percentage sold, the formula is number sold divided by the total of number sold is equal to percentage sold. So for example, Fabiano Chardonnay, it has 30 number of sold, so divided by the total of number of sold. So let's add the number sold. 30 plus 16 plus 62 plus 52 is equal to 160 total of number sold. So 30 divided by 160 is equal to 0.1875. So multiplied it by 100 is equal to 18.75% percentage sold.
Forecasting spirit sales, like beer and wine, the number of guests who order a mixed drink can be tracked, unlike beer and wine. However, the exact item the guest will request is very difficult to determine. When ordering spirit, tracking sales can become complicated. For example, assume that two guests order bourbon and soda. One guest specifies Jack Daniel's brand of bourbon, whereas the other one preferred Heaven Hell brand. From the guest's point of view, the both ordered bourbon and soda. From the operator's point of view, two distinct items were selected to make matters a bit more complicated. A third guest arrives and orders bourbon and soda without preference as to type of bourbon used. Obviously, a different method of sales forecasting is necessary in a situation such as this, and in fact, several are available. One method requires that the operator view guest selection not in terms of the drink requested. One method requires that the operator view guest selection not in terms of the drink requested, such as bourbon and water, gin and tonic, sea breeze, and so on, but rather in terms of the particular spirit that forms the base of the drink. Consider a table of 4 guests who order the following: Kahlua on the rocks, Kahlua and coffee, Kahlua and cream, Kahlua and coke. Each guest could be considered as having ordered the same item. A drink with sweet Kahlua, a coffee flavored liqueur from Mexico, forms the base of the drink. The purpose of this method is, of course, to simplify the process of recording guest preferences. Depending on the degree of accuracy desired from the operator, tracking spirit sales can be done by any of the following methods: generic product name, coffee liqueur, bourbon, vodka, gin. Second, specific product name, Kahlua, Jack Daniel's Black Label, Absolute, Bombay. Third, specific drink requested: Kahlua on the rocks, Kahlua and coffee, Kahlua and cream, and Kahlua and coke.
Figure 4.3 Larry's Bar Spirit Sales. Beverages. As you can see, there is product spirits, number sold, percentage sold. The formula of getting the percentage sold is you just divide the number sold and the total number of sold. For example, product spirits Scotch has 210 number of solds divided by the total of 1,600 number sold. So 210 divided by 1,600, you get 0.131. Then move 2 decimal places to the right to get the percentage. So you get 13.1%. Next, the bourbon. You have 175 numbers sold divided by 1,600 number of sold is equal to 0.109. Then move 2 decimal places to the right to get the percentage sold. You get 10.9%. So why do we need to move 2 right decimal places? We are talking here percentage. So you just need to multiply it by 100 or move 2 decimal places to the right if you are talking percentage sold. So on and so forth from the product sales, beverages.
Standardized drink recipes and portions. If a beverage operation is even moderately busy, it is simply unrealistic to assume that the bartender can stop each time an order comes in. Consult a written standardized recipe as discussed in Chapter 3 and then prepare the drink requested. Imagine the result: confusion, chaos, and time delay if such a system were in place. The demand for control in the bar, however, is even greater than that required in the kitchen. The reason is simple: the potential for employee inefficiently thief or waste is often greater in the bath than in the kitchen. Consider for a moment just few of the unique aspects of beverage operations that require strict adherence to control procedures. First is beverage operations are subject to tax audits to verify sales revenue. In some states, these audits are unannounced. Second, beverage operations can be closed down on the spot for the violation of the liquor law. Third, employees in a bar may deceptively seek to become operational partners by bringing in their own beverage products to sell and then keep sales revenue. And fourth, detecting the disappearance of small amounts of beverage product is extremely difficult, as for example, the loss of 8 ounces of beer from a multi-gallon kilogram. For these reasons and others, using standardized recipes is an absolute must for the beverage operation. Even if it is using written standardized recipes for each drink is not a viable option. Consider the case of Paul.
the bar manager at a full-service restaurant. He knows that each bourbon and water he produces should consist of cost percent formula to determine his beverage cost percentage. The following beverage cost percentage formula, as you can easily see, nearly identical to the cost percent formula presented in Chapter 3. Formula is of beverage sold over beverage sales beverage cost percent. Thus, Paul's beverage cost percent should be as follows. So, $0.95 divided by $8.50 equals 11.2%.
Figure 4.4 Beverage Competition. Beverage Bourbon. Formula of getting the portion cost is liter cost divided by number of portion is equal to portion cost. For example, portion size 1 oz. It has 33 number of portion and the liter cost is a constant of $24.80. So substitute it by using the formula 24.80 liter cost divided by 33 number of portion is equal to $0.75. So next, the formula to get the total beverage sale is selling price times number of portion is equal to total beverage sales. For example, constant of 8.50 selling price times 33 number of portion is equal to $280.5 total beverage sales. And beverage cost is portion cost divided by selling price is equal to beverage cost percent. For example, 0.75 of portion cost divided by constant of 0.75 selling price is equal to 0.088. But we are talking percentage here, so multiply it by 100 or just move 2 decimal places to the right to get the percentage, so we get 8.8% beverage cost percent.
Purchasing beverage products. So, it is a process used by manager to direct, regulate, and restrain the action of people so that the established goals of enterprise may be achieved. The purpose of beverage purchasing is to maintain an appropriate supply of ingredients for producing beverage products. So, determining where products to carry. Can expiration 6 months if stored cold and 3 months if stored warm. On bottle 5 to 9 months beyond the expiration date. Listed on the label. Brand selection. Figure 4.5 beverage product request log. Most food services operators find that 1 or 2 brands of light beer. One must be careful in this area not to stock excessive amounts of product that sell poorly. Packaging. Figure 4.6 draft beer containers. Most of beer drinkers prefer beer from kegs over bottle or canned beer. Filled kegs can be difficult to handle because of their weight. Determining wine products to carry. Figure 4.7 Wine bottle sizes. It helps to ensure safety and quality in the food and beverage industry. The high value of wine motivates sellers to undertake testing to help ensure the quality of their product.
As a good manager, you build a wine list, the term used to describe menu of wine offerings selected for your own particular operation and guest expectation. Figure 4.8 is an example of a wine list used at Tulliver's Terrace, a mild-priced fast casual restaurant. So, as a good manager, you have an organized plan to build a wine list.
Chapter 4 Managing the Cost of Beverage. Remember that the quantity of spirit used and thus the product cost percentage did not change under scenario A, B, and C. In this case, the bartender was very careful not to use more product than he or she had been instructed to do. A, B, and C, it should not be interchanged because there will be a procedure to follow. You must see the drink ratio to follow the procedure. Upon seeing the drink ratio, there is also a possible guest response. The bartender must be careful and be able to apply the standard for come up presentable drinks.
Good day, everyone. My topic today is determining spirit products to have. Distilled spirit have an extremely long shelf life. You can make a mistake and purchase the wrong spirit product without disastrous results. If the product can be sold over a reasonable period of time, and it is your responsibility to determine product quality levels in the beverage area. Consumer preferences concerning alcoholic beverage can change rapidly. Wise beverage managers taste are average of changing consumption trends by reading professional journals and staying active in his or her professional association major provides information related to changes in consumer buying behavior as far as beer, wine, and spirit are concerned. What is extremely popular 1 year may be out of the fashion in the next. Packaging is not a particular issue. In the United States, as in most parts of the world, bottles size for spirit are standard. Since the early 1990s, the bottle size shown in Figure 4.9 represent the most commonly offered for sale the respectability market. Two major categories spirit. 1. The liqueur. Other spirit are the food window case does not specify a particular brand name when ordering. Well, or the bottle holding area in the bar. Guests who order well liquor may be price conscious, but does not mean they are quality conscious also. Managers who shop with liquor considering on a price as lower price. And the second is cold liqueurs, are the spirits that are considered by names such as Jack Daniels, Kalia, and Chivas Regal. Extremely expensive cold liqueurs, premium liqueurs, charge a higher price for those drinks prepared with cold or premium liqueurs, and guests understand this and enact by specifying cold liqueurs and dictate their preference to pay the price required for these special products. And the second is cold liqueurs, are the spirits that are considered by names such as Jack Daniels, Kalia, and Chivas Regal. Extremely expensive cold liqueurs, premium liqueurs, charge a higher price for those drinks prepared with cold or premium liqueurs, and guests understand this and enact by specifying cold liqueurs and dictate their preference to pay the price required for these special products.
4.10 and 4.11 illustrates the effects of changes in the selection of well liquors. So in figure 4.10, 50 well drinks and 50 cold drinks are sold. Total beverage cost percentage in this example equals 19.1%. So 4.10 spirit cost percentage. Original portion cost. It has a spirit, number sold, portion cost, total cost, selling price, total sales, and beverage cost percent. In spirit, there has a two option, well or call. So in well, it has a 50 number sold and 0.90 portion cost. In getting the total cost, you just multiply the number sold and portion cost. Example, 50 numbers sold and 0.90 portion cost is equal to $45 total cost. So the well has selling price constant $5. So in getting the total sales, you just multiply the selling price and the number sold. So 50 times 5 is equal to 250 total sales. So in getting the beverage cost percent, is you just need to divide the total cost and the total sales. So 45 total cost divided by total sales of 250 is equal to 0.18. So you just need to multiply it by 100 or move 2 decimal places to the right to get the percentage is equal to 18.0%. So in call, it has 50 numbers sold and 1.20 portion cost. Multiply it is equal to 60. So selling price is constant of 6. So in getting total 6 is 300 and the beverage cost percent is 20.1%. So in total, you just add all the numbers sold is equal to 100 and the total cost is 105, total sales and is 550. Beverage cost percent is 19.1. The decision to lower the quality of well liquor use did, in this case, reduce overall liquor cost percentage. The question of the long-term effect on guest satisfaction and loyalty is not addressed. In fact, changes in guest behavior may negligible in the short run. Quality product as fair prices build guest loyalty. Beverage purchase orders can be used to document the beverage purchase order in the same way it is used for food purchases. Special laws, depending on the state and county, may influence how beverage purchases are to be made or paid for. One of the first responsibilities you have is to become familiar with all applicable state and local laws regarding beverage purchases. As with food, the goal is purchasing is to have an adequate but not excessive amount of product on hand at all times. Unlike most food products, however, beverage distributors will sometimes sell products in less than one case lots. This is called a broken case and occurs when several different brands or products are used to completely fill the case. For example, assume that an operator orders a case of scotch consisting of 12 bottles. The case, however, might contain 4 bottles of scotch brand A, 4 bottles of brand B, and 4 bottles of brand C. As a general rule, wine, beer, and spirit are purchased by the case. Beer, of course, may also be bought by full or reduced size kegs. As with food products, a smaller container size usually results in a higher cost per servable ounce. It is important to remember that both product quality and container size are critical when determining what to buy. Saving beverage products. Since beverage products do not vary in quality as does food, skill required to receive beverages is somewhat less. As with food, the receiving clerk needs a proper location, tools, and equipment. Proper delivery schedule must be maintained. When matching the purchase order to the vendor invoice, only quantity ordered and price must be verified. If beer is fresh dated, that is, a date is stamped on the product, to indicate its freshness. Very little inspection is required. Beverage receiving checkpoints are storing beverage products. Storage areas should be clean, free of infestation, and large enough to allow for easy rotation of stock. Security is crucial. A two-key system is often used. The individual responsible for the beverage area has one key while the other key is kept in a sealed envelope in a secured area. In the event of emergency, the envelope can be opened. Spirits should be stored in a relatively dry storage area between 70 and 80 Fahrenheit, 21 to 27 Celsius. Beer in kegs or unpressurized containers should be stored at refrigeration temperatures of 36 to 38 Fahrenheit to 2 to 3 Celsius. Canned beer should be covered when stored to prevent dirt from accumulating on the rim. Pasteurized beer should be stored in a cool, dark room at 50 to 70 Fahrenheit, 10 to 21 Celsius. The three components critical to wine storage are temperature, light, and core condition. Generally, wine should be stored at temperature of 50 to 65 Fahrenheit, 10 to 18 Celsius. Heat is an enemy of effective wine storage. When storage wine, it should be exposed only to the minimum amount of light necessary. The cork protects wine from its greatest enemy. Oxygen. Oxidation occurs when oxygen comes in contact with bottled wine. It smells somewhat like vinegar. Wine should always be stored in such a way that the cork remains in contact with the wine to stay moist, usually on its side. Storage should be kept the cork and thus the wine cold, dark, and moist.
So you probably be wondering about a lot of things when it comes to wine, when it comes to beverage, and some sort of things that you would intake whenever you would go to a certain places. Diba? So we're gonna talk about beer storage, wine storage, temperature, light, core condition, the liquor storage, bar transfers, managing cost of beverages, computing cost of beverages, and special features liquor and inventory, liquor inventory by weight. So next, beer storage. So beer in kegs should be stored at the refrigeration temperature of 36 to 38 degrees Fahrenheit or 2 to 3 degrees Celsius. The keg beer is unpasteurized, means unprocessed. So I already put a keyword there. Other term for unpasteurized is unprocessed and thus must be handled carefully to avoid spoilage. Storing a beer would take a lot of effort in consideration, because if you don't want your beer to be spoiled, you need to work. You need to know the right temperature to when you store it in a refrigerator. Next is pasteurized beer in either cans or bottles should be stored in cool and dark room at 50 to 70 degrees Fahrenheit to 10 to 21 degrees Celsius, and thus require refrigerators. Of course, that's like what I said. A right temperature and a right place to store a beer is, you would have a good beer. So nothing is quite disturbing. Some of these customers would have this type of comments when they drink a beer. So nothing is quite as disturbing to be a beer drinker than to find the top of a cold beer can covered with dust, dirt, or any other foreign material that cannot breathe. Of course, when you drink a certain type of beer, you want it to be clean, and of course, like refreshing. So of course you would need, of course, would want to drink a type of beer nga na ay dirt, na abog, na dust or something, type of like rust. A can is more like need to be like look so new, diba? Look so clean and new. Individual issuing canned beer to the bar through Willie Wins beer can taps prior to delivering these products for use in a bar is a good idea. So of course, if you would like a beer that is really clean and new, you would need to like issue. But when you've seen a canned beer nga na dust, you would need to tell or the manager or someone or the owner perhaps about this type of issue, diba? Para malikayanan eh. So production rotation. So production rotation is critical if beer is to be served at its maximum freshness. Of course, you wouldn't want a beer that is really fresh, diba? So it is important that you and your team devise a system to ensure that this happens. So production rotation is more like they would need to like look after the beer, but and sometimes people would just like ignore this type of diba, issue nga abi kay after lang siya nakakuan, nakastay lang siya, and you would think that basig bako pa rin siya nga gawas, you would think it's really fresh, but not really. You would need to devise a system like this, diba? Pero to ensure, diba, wala na yung malikayan na yung other issue. So, for a better method, for this, you have a method to use this kind of insurance nga. This type of system is, siya, ensure nga mahitabo. So, date each case and 6-pack as it comes in determine whether proper FIFO in chapter 3. You would read it in chapter 3 about FIFO, FIFO product quotation has occurred. So for the beer storage, we're going to talk about wine storage here. So we have a certain type of, I forgot to read a certain type of here quotations below our topic. So topic, wine storage. It's a lot easier to start the day when you know it will end with a good wine. From the wine chicks. So the most complex and time-consuming activity required of beverage storeroom personnel. So of course, like I said, to have a good wine, to have a good drinks, a beverage, need a lot of considerations of storing when it comes to a certain type of drinks. Like for example, wine, it takes a lot of years, diba, to have a good wine. So depending on the type and the volume of the restaurant, extremely large quantities of wine may be stored. Like for example, for 70 ml milliliter, foreign wines are generally sold in bottles of approximately this size. So 750 ml, this yung size. So but the contents will be vary by few milliliters more or less. So more than that. So regardless of bottle size stored, the techniques for proper wine storage must follow in all circumstances. So we'll be giving you the right, it will be stated there, right? The temperature, the light, or the core conditions. So, diba? The quality of the product is to be maintained. The quantity itself is ma-differ dyan ang quantity sa quality, diba? So, following factors are monitored. So, the temperature, light, and core condition. As I said, I think it's not in a PowerPoint presentation, but it has its meaning too. It has really been stated, written in the book, where the temperature, light, and core condition is given meaning. So, the temperature itself, needs to be at the right temperature. Like for example, sa beer, diba? Ang beer is more like 36 to 38 degrees Fahrenheit to 2 to 3 degrees Celsius. So I just kind of forgot what's the right temperature when storing a wine storage. So but next, that is light. So of course the light, of course, diba, ang Ang beer is more like a dark room dun sa, same mo siya sa beer when its need is to consider the place to store din. So the core condition is the thing that covers the wine. You do notice that the wooden type of something that covers the wine, you need it to like renew it all the time to, diba? If you want to spoil your drinks, you would want it new and dust-free. So of course, core condition more like the condition, how is the cork being put on the type of certain vase jar or for a wine storage. You need to cover it up properly so that it would to ensure that spoilage may not happen. So bar transfer. So in the case of wine and beer, there are in general no additions to the beverage prior to serving and thus no additional product cost. So as far as spirits are concerned, type of spirits, whenever they what do you call this? When you drink a beer, there's certain type, what do you call this? I don't know what it's called in Bisaya, but spirits are concerned, it's matter when it comes to beverages. However, a great number of non-alcoholic food products may be served as part of the drink order, diba? So we'll be giving examples of this, So the bar must be controlled and recorded to accurately track revenue and expenses. The same issues exist with products such as cherries, limes, lemons, cream, coffee, sugar, and that's it. That is part of a when you want to have a good thing to like partner it, like for example, lemon, the cream, the coffee. Of course, the coffee needs sugar, diba? So cherries, first you would need to put cherries on something called I call this in the type of drinks that you want, diba? It's not the type of drink, but it was also included because they would need that. I think it's more like concerned, as part of drink order. So to control, the host of other items which may be ordered as regular food products for the kitchen are needed by transfer to the bar area, just like what I said a minute ago. Not all drinks are drinks. Not all beverage nga naa sa bar is something you would drink. Some of it like you would chew it, diba? So the control procedure for kitchen and bar products is quite simple. The directive requires nothing but consistency, consisting rightful transfer to a certain type of para accurately, diba? To accurately track revenue and expenses. So
Transfer record. Transfer records means all files and records of any sellers and their subsidiaries generated by them in the course of their conduct of the businesses, whether in paper or electronic form, exclusive of rating records. Computing of beverages. The proper computation of beverage cost percentage is identical to that of food cost percentage with one important difference. Typically, there is no equivalent for employees' meals because the consumption of alcoholic beverage products by employees' drinks would never be considered as a reduction from overall beverage costs. Like the Rio Lobos, you need to keep excellent daily records of the number of food products transferred from the kitchen to the bar and the dollar value of these transfers. Special features of liquor inventory. It is the process of valuing these open containers that will present a challenge to you. The inventory methods are commonly used to accomplish this goal. First, weight. Second, count. Third, measure. Liquor inventory by weight. To simplify the process of calculating liquor inventory by weight, separate the empty bottles and subtract the total amount of liquor product. Liquor inventory by count. Counting full bottles is easy. Valuing partial bottle is more difficult. You can do it rather quickly and fairly accurately. However, if you use the tenth system, this system that the inventory taker assign a value of 10/10 to a full bottle, 5/10 to a half bottle, and so on. Then, when inventory is taken, the partial bottle is examined and the appropriate tenth is assigned, based on the amount left in the bottle, although this system results in an approximation of the actual amount in a bottle. Many managers feel the tenth system is accurate enough for their purposes. It does not have the advantage of being a rather quick method of determining inventory levels of open bottles. Liquor inventory by measure. From the word itself, measure, so some beverage managers determine product level of open bottles by using a ruler to determine the amount the bottle contains. Dollar values are then assigned to each inch or portion of an inch for an inventory evaluation purposes. This method has a high degree of accuracy and is favored by many. So in general, it is important to take liquor in inventories at a time when the operation is closed so that product quantities on hand do not change when the inventory is being taken. It is important the product contained in the lines of mechanical drink dispensing system be counted, if the quantity of product in these lines are deemed to be significant. Returning to the real Lubo example, regardless of the method used to determine the actual value of ending inventory with sales $100,000 and a cost of beverage sold of $28,218.15, you would apply the beverage cost percentage formula as follows. Cost of beverage sold over beverage sales is equal to beverage cost. Or, for example, $28,218.15 over $100,000 is equal to 0.2822. So you just multiplied it by 100 so that you get the percentage of 28.22%. Sales mix. To analyze the beverage sales mix, the item percent of total beverage sale must be calculated as follows. Item dollar sales over total beverage sales is equal item percent of total beverage sales. Sales mix is defined as the series of guest purchasing decisions that result in a specific food or beverage cost percentage. Guests can contribute to major changes in the food or beverage cost percentages due to sales mix. Figure 4.15 Raider Resort. Monthly beverage percentage resort. In calculating the beverage cost percent, just use this formula. Cost of beverage divided by beverage sales is equal to beverage cost percent. For example, banquets has 20,500 of cost of beverage and 80,000 beverage sales. So substitute it to our formula. So 20,500 cost of beverage divided by 80,000 beverage sales is equal to 0.256. So we are talking about percentage, so just multiplied it by 100 or move 2 decimal places to the right to get the beverage cost. We get 25.6% beverage cost percent. So, in figure 4.16, number 1, number 2, and number 3 is just the same in figure 4.15. For example, figure 4.16, number 1, beer. 25,000 divided by 10,000 is equal to 0.25. So move 2 decimal places to the right, we get 25% beverage cost percent. Another example in number 2, figure 4.16, Starlight Bar Beer. So 3,750 divided by 15,000 is equal to 0.25. Move 2 decimal places to the right, we get 25% beverage cost percent. Another example, in number 3, Harry O's Beer. 11,250 divided by 45,000 is equal to 0.25. So move 2 decimal places to the right, we get 25% beverage cost percent. In figure 4.17, formula is first add or total the beverage sales, then divide the beverage sales So, beverage sales divided by total beverage sales is equal to product percent. We need to total all beverage sales, 10,000 plus 40,000 plus 30,000 is equal to 80,000 total beverage sales. For example, in number 1, banquets, beer. 10,000 divided by 80,000 is equal to 0.125. Just multiply 100 or move 2 decimal places to the right to get the percentage total of 12.5%. So, another example in number 2, Starlight Beer Bar. First, we need to add all the beverage sales, 15,000 plus 5,000 plus 25,500 is equal to 45,500 total beverage sales. 5,000 beverage sales divided by 45,500 total beverage sales is equal to 0.109. So run off to the nearest hundreds, we get 0.11. Then move 2 decimal places or multiply it by 100 to get 11% beverage cost percent. Another example in number 3, Harry O's. First, we need to total all the beverage sales. So, 45,000 plus 7,000 plus 15,000 is equal to 67,000. So, 45,000 beverage sales divided by 67,000 is equal to 0.2238. Run off to the nearest hundreds is equal to 0.224. Move 2 decimal places to get the percentage of 22.4. But in the book, the answer is 22.5 to get the total of 100%. So each sales percent in figure 4.17 was computed this formula. Items beverage sales over total beverage sales is equal to item percent of total beverage sales. Therefore, in the case of beer sales in the banquet area, showing the data from figure 4.16, banquet beer sales over total banquet beverage sales is equal to banquet bar sales. Or, for example, $10,000 over $80,000 is equal to 12.5. Technology tools. For those operations that sell a significant amount of alcoholic beverage products, there are a variety of programs designed to discourage theft and carefully monitor product sales and expenses. In fact, the software and hardware available to help you in the beverage service area is generally more sophisticated than that found in most food-related areas. Programs available in the beverage area include those that can help you. First, monitor product sales. Second, monitor product inventory usage. Third, calculate actual and targeted pour percentage. Fourth, adjust product cost for happy hours and specials, as well as product transfers to inform the kitchen. Fifth, maintain adequate levels of product inventory. 6. Establish par stock quantities and values. 7. Generate purchase orders. 8. Schedule employees based on forecasted sale levels. 9. Create and print customized wine lists and special menus. 10. Maintain sales histories. 11. Maintain drink recipe files. Last but not the least, project the impact of sales mix on beverage cost percentage. So, thank you for listening. God bless and keep safe.